name is Erika Hood, and I'm from the Center for Reducing Health Disparities. And this is our new podcast, Stir
Hey,
Crazy.
Erica,
Guys,
real quick. You know we're like really far apart from you. You don't need the mask. Like, I mean, I'm all for social distancing and safety, but I think you're okay without it for right now.
you guys are right. You're right. I can ditch the mask. Okay, so again, my name is Erika Hood, and I'm with the Center for Reducing Health Disparities, and this is our new podcast, Stir Crazy with CRHD. Woo! And today we're having a little porch fest where we just want to have a conversation around some cool hot topics. My name is Erika again, and I've been with the center for 2 years now. And at the center, I'm the program development manager. But outside of the center, I am a mom of 2 wonderful boys and my parents' favorite daughter. How about you, Jackie?
Hey, so I'm Jackie Delata. I am the center manager, and I've been with the center for about 14 years now. But outside of there, I am the mom of 2 boy dogs, both bulldogs, French and English. And I am also the sports junkie of the center. So.
And Karen.
So I am Karen Scott. I have been with the center 7 years. I am a mom of a 29-year-old daughter and a 22-year-old son, a grandmother of a 2-year-old, and I'm a student, and I'm a news junkie.
And now we got Josh. He's newest to the crew.
Hi, I'm Josh Beltran. I am a research assistant at the center. I've almost been there for a year, actually. Crazy. It'll be a year in September. I am the father of 8 children. I'm just kidding. I am a boyfriend to my girlfriend. I am probably the gamer of, if Jackie's the sports junkie, I'm the video gamer of the department. And I'm a son of my mother who has one other child.
Okay, that was a heck of an introduction. Hey, all. It's a different setting. I mean, we normally chat virtually, but you all might see me in my makeshift office inside the house. And it's kind of good to get outside and get some sun and some fresh air. So thanks for indulging us on this first episode. So I thought it would be kind of cool for us to share some things that have been our latest, like, food cravings, drink cravings, or recipes, things that you wanted to share. And since I made it up, maybe I should start first so you guys can kind of understand what I meant. But I'll say during this time, since we've all been at home, every day has been a roller coaster. Like some days I just want to eat chocolate and lay in my bed. Other days I'm ready to start and live my healthiest life and lose weight and just be amazing. So let's pick a good day. For Christmas, my mom got me this cute popcorn maker, and you could throw some kernels in there. You could put it in the microwave, and it's super, super easy. So I thought this was really cute. So like my healthy snack has been just munching on popcorn whenever I get hungry. It surely beats ordering pizza. And depending on the day, this raspberry wine from Valley Vineyards, it's Ohio Vineyard. It's delicious. But when I'm not into an alcoholic beverage, just give me a sparkling water any day. And today is Good and Gather, Target brand. So that's mine. Who else wants to share?
Nice. I'll go. So I am a LaCroix connoisseur, and this is my latest LaCroix. So it is a pineapple strawberry.
Oh.
I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
And after work hours, you can find a little bit of Tito's in this LaCroix, and like the low carb girl that I'm trying to be, my snack of the day is some bison jerky. So this came straight out of Creston, Ohio, down by the Amish. So white feather meats with some bison jerky at a whopping $39.99 a pound. So you could do
Are you serious?
or jerky, whatever.
Oh.
So yeah. So fancy
Wow.
jerky.
Okay. What about you, Karen? What are you snacking on these days?
So I just I like my pineapple juice. and I eat lots of sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds.
Roasted with salt. Yum, yum.
And Josh.
I'm really into like brewing my own iced tea. So, and I think it's like a fun way to experiment with different stuff. So, I usually get like the like fruit tea like sampler, so different flavors, try different things.
Sounds good. I know growing up, my aunt used to make sun tea outside.
Hmm.
I never liked it ever, but now that
No?
I'm old, now I do. But as a child, I just wanted like Lipton's in a can, like.
With, and that's why I like doing it to cut down on the sugar and stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm almost done with mine.
So, I thought it'd be pretty cool if we throw some questions and some maybe current events, hot topics in a bowl. Stir things up because we're stir crazy and see what comes out. And then we can just take turns answering questions, okay? So I'm kind of nervous about what's in here, but hopefully it doesn't get it stays appropriate. Let's see. So when have you felt the most normal? And this is after, mid-March, so much has changed, working from home, not being able to do some of the things that we normally have done in the past. So what's been a moment where you guys have felt like the most normal? I think for me, it would have been my mom and sister came over to my house on the back porch. And it was my sister and I, it was our birthday. Our birthdays are 2 days apart. And normally every year we either get a Kasai cake or Dairy Queen, the Dairy Queen ice cream cakes, the little mini ones. So my mom ends up bringing over like mini ice cream cakes because it definitely reminds us of our childhood. And we had our ice cream cakes on my back porch, and it was perfect. It was just perfect, and it just made me miss my family kind of even more. But it was a moment where we can just kind of be together and feel safe. We have definitely been quarantining apart. Any of you all want to share?
I would say, once it got nice out, it felt more normal to be in the backyard. These guys have heard me talk about the pool and my, the pool turning green, getting the pool back together. But like being able to just swim and feel outside, that's felt normal. That feels like this is something that I would normally do in the summer. So I'm grateful to have like my little backyard oasis because you can almost forget that, this pandemic is happening.
Yeah. Thanks, Jackie. Movies.
Josh, nothing?
I was gonna say just I'm still kind of waiting, tell you the truth.
Okay, that's real.
I'd say the closest is just the first time I saw my parents, but other than that, like I've never really gotten to like work from home and stuff before, so just all that was like an adjustment, and it's still like so I still feel it's been months, but still trying to find like footing with it sometimes. So
that was a very real answer. Very real answer. Very real.
Karen, how about when you got to get your nails done? No, did it still not feel normal?
Well, so while I got a pedicure, I'm still afraid to get a manicure. And I know they have the partition in front, and people say to me, what's the difference? I don't know, but somehow I rationalized in my mind it's okay for someone to be down at my feet versus in my face. So I guess that did feel normal to be able to get a haircut and some other salon services the girl so desperately needs. So yeah, Jackie, you knew I was gonna go there.
That is so funny. So the next hot topic would be movies. I know for some of us, we have not stepped foot back into a movie theater, even with a few openings across the country. We've been missing movie premieres, but also we've been gifted movie premieres on different streaming networks. So that's been pretty cool. But how does it feel to miss the movies and summer blockbusters? Josh, I think, you're our guy who's all into this.
Mhm.
Yeah. So actually, I take a little bit back on the last answer. So Karen mentioned drive-ins a little bit before this, and so that's been like me and my girlfriend's like substitute for going, and that's been the kind of closest like to normal. It was like the first time we went to one of those, and it felt like summer.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, on one hand, it's nice that we have the technology at our hands to have stuff like that and still have some semblance of normalcy of like seeing new movies. But there is something missing about like going to a theater. And there is one like kind of like to get a little in it, but like recently, like Disney was planning to release, or I think they're still planning to release Mulan on Disney Plus, but they're requiring $30 on top of your already paying for the subscription, and to me that just seems very like anti-consumer. Like, we're already all kind of going through something tough, and to like pay on top of a payment, and it just I don't know, it just feels needless, and especially like when we're like looking for something to like have your family around and gather in front of and enjoy together.
Yeah. I just
I
saw the trailer for it, and I really want to see it. Then I heard the additional cost, and I was just like, not me. Probably
Yeah.
won't do it.
But Disney was able to put out for if you have Disney Plus, you could get Hamilton. And I saw Hamilton in New York last summer about this time, but seeing Hamilton again, like it was the stuff I had forgotten. So seeing it twice was like a treat to me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to knock Disney too much because that's like the bomb.
The Hamilton release was definitely the highlight of my
Yes,
quarantine moment, and being able to
yes,
stop, rewind, and belt through in my own home, just to sing with Angelica to the top of my lungs was just great. So,
yes,
Confession,
yes.
I haven't seen it.
You have
gosh,
Oh,
to see it.
you have nothing but time. Just
I know.
watch it.
I just have to say, just to play devil's advocate, though, you got to think these movie production companies, they're losing so much money,
Hmm.
right? They took all
Mhm.
this money to do this. So if I were to go and see Mulan with, with your family or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
you would easily drop, unless you're,
yeah.
$10 a movie ticket,
Hmm.
you get a super, super cheap one. So I'm sure they're just trying to recoup some of their costs.
Of course, of
Um,
course.
not to sound whatever, but I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm totally that girl who justifies like $5.99 for a rental. Absolutely, this is way cheaper than the movies.
And I'm the girl that will cancel my entire cart if the shipping is too high. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing it. That's why. But I can pay Amazon Prime, and like it's just crazy. I'm paying for it, but also
Mm.
just to see that zero shipping in 2 days, I'm like,
At Amazon Prime, you also get to stream some really
Mm.
nice
yeah, you
movies.
Yeah.
do, you do.
So, I
I
mean,
got into
you,
those
you
more.
really do get something for your money.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
we go. Thank you, Karen. That made me feel so much better. We'll do two more questions because Zoom is. I'm not sure what's going on, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it
Couldn't tell if Josh was frozen or just very, very still.
goes. All right. So our next one is no HIO. So with the no HIO, how are Buckeye fans and college sports fans, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I base a lot of my Saturday activities in the fall off of Ohio State games, and like, I don't know.
Yep, absolutely. Our schedules revolve around it. It's, depending on if it's a noon game or an evening game, like our day, it definitely in the fall. I wake up, I turn on college game day.
Yep.
So I don't know. And I'm going to be interested to see, right? The Big Ten made this call to pull out, and, the SEC and some other conferences are still planning on playing. So I'll be interested to see how far they get.
Yeah.
As classes start back up. We've already seen UNC, shifted to virtual classes.
I
shut
think
down
Notre
all-
Dame as well. There's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, how far is any of these ones that have chosen to go ahead? Are they really going to get? But I thought Ohio State and the Big Ten did a good job of putting out like the full reasoning, right? And there's just, I think with everything COVID, and people forget this. This isn't anything we've ever seen before, and we're still learning about it. And there's so much unknown. And so these, while we might know a a death rate, all these people who get sick and contract the virus, in various stages, what those long-term effects, we don't know. And for young people and for athletes especially, what that looks like for your lungs or your heart, if you contracted it, you had a bad case, you still made it out, is that it's easy to say at 18 you want to play, but is that a risk you want to take, that might impact the rest of your life? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it makes me sad no matter what.
I know, it's so sad. My son, he is 17 and he had a physical this week, and I was already emotional because it was my last time like accompanying him to the back for his physical, and I go back and we talk to the doctor together, then they kick me out, and they do their thing with him. But I'm like, this is the last time I'll be with my baby for his physical. But she talked a lot about COVID and teens and how the 17 to 24 age range that has been coming into the practice with COVID, doing seemingly well, but she's just so nervous about, what we may see 10 years down the line, 15 years, 20 years down the line with these issues that they're finding, these scarring and weird things happening as it relates to cardiac issues, or, I'm like, it's just terrifying. We don't know. And it's kind of a game that I just don't want to play. Not while we're going through this in real time. Right. Yes, no, sports is just, I don't know. I'll probably watch like past seasons and just relive like championship games or something, like every weekend, like just do another championship game. I don't know, but I have to figure something out because I'm gonna miss my butt guys. Yeah. Josh, are you a sports fan?
I'm an Indians fan is mainly my thing, and that's, like I said, going back to the not entirely feeling normal is like, summer baseball. It's always been a big part like of like my growing up, and then obviously like in adulthood. Like I last year my cousin had got like a quarter season tickets, and he'd always like kind of like be nice to us to like ask me to go along, and it's just something that's missing and kind of really bums me out.
Jackie, opening day.
But, hello, it's back though. I mean, we can at least watch it, right?
Yeah,
watch it. You can turn on.
It's available, but it's
but it was hard. This is my first opening day that I've missed in a very long time, and we have season tickets to the Browns and the Indians, and we opted out of this year of the Browns, and well, at least next year will be paid for, as long as there is a next year. That's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah, the last Indians game I went to, my son's band was playing the Star Spangled Banner, and just the energy in the stadium alone, it's just, you can't replicate that at home. Like that energy, it just feels good, especially for Cleveland. If nothing else, it's our fandom that keeps us connected. So I definitely miss that. Alrighty, and oh my gosh. So this was an Erika question for you all. What is the most annoying thing to you right now?
Fast.
Where do I start?
The most annoying thing to you.
Do we want to focus on something particular, or just like
like a specific thing? Like I'll say for me, it's as much as we rely on technology right now, if my Sling account or Hulu or something buffers and I can't watch something right now because I'm just ready to download it, I want to push play and I want to watch it. But if it buffers, or if Zoom acts up, or if something happens to my technology, I'm so annoyed because I'm like, we have to rely on you. Like, this is all I've got. Please let me watch this movie. So yeah.
The most annoying thing to me has been our public health and science turned politicized, right? And so like as a person who's spent 14 years in research, and I mean really knowing like what it means to rigorously do literature reviews and research, right? Like that's in our title. I have research in my title. I've gone to a lot of school and worked on a lot of projects. To watch everybody on social media or Facebook to say, well, did you research this, and how much did you, or I researched this, and I just want to say, first of all, no, you didn't. You don't know what real research is. Google searching is not researching. And second of all, let scientists and let the scientific method like play out. This is so new, and to watch, definitely public health officials and stuff take the brunt of this when they're just, I mean, literally trying to let the data and the science guide them with the best information available, and to turn that into a, this side of the aisle thing. I think that's the most annoying. It never needed to be that way. It's just science, it's data, it's facts, it's like the opposite of politics, right? It's
Yeah.
very clear cut, and unfortunately we don't know everything, but we admit that we don't, and when we learn new things we talk about it. But that's my big annoyance.
I
Yeah.
I would say, kind of piggybacking off of that, is like, when this started, I was kind of interested because I was like, I'm relatively obviously new to this field. I've been at the center a year, almost a year. And when I tell people about like my job and just what my like this field is, it weirdly takes some explaining. I remember actually having the conversation with my mom about like, hey, I want to go into public health, and I explained to her like what that meant. And so when this started, I was kind of excited because I was like, oh, here's a good outlet to show people like, hey, this is what we do. The people who are saying these statements about, quarantining and wearing masks, like this is the field that I am a part of. But then, yeah, when it's gets turned to that, it becomes this like double-edged sword of like, oh, like people aren't listening to these people, but I'm also kind of like liking the validation of people, my field being represented, but it's also getting, politicized in a way.
Have any of you all become like the spokesperson for all of your social media and your family, like the public health expert that you have to say, stop saying these
Yeah.
things, quit spreading this conspiracy theory? Like, that is not how it works and how it happens. Like, I find myself being that person all the time. Karen, you're muted.
Karen, you're mute. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
yep.
I was on a Zoom call with some family and friends, and they were talking about COVID-19 was like, it was a result of 5G. And I just stayed quiet. I was gonna be the odd man out, and it was gonna get adversarial if I said anything. And these people, I mean, I want to preface by saying they're, educated, well-rounded people, and they swear that COVID is a result of 5G. I technically don't care what it's from. How do we eradicate it? And I just sat back and listened. I remember saying to someone, "Can you believe that I was quiet? I just still want to be adversarial." So,
Yeah, that was huge. I think early on, it was all 5G, and then they put the 5G in the masks. So the wires around the nose was
Uh,
5G. So don't wear a mask because they're trying to get you. So yes, we've heard so many different tales and versions of theories that are really circulating around our communities and on social media. That's so harmful to just the overall push to keep everyone safe.
I've been like super polite, I guess, to my family, but no one's been super outspoken about it. I just do know some people in my family are getting, like all of us, it's starting to wear on them. So, some they're like, oh, I don't know if it's that serious. Um, but I haven't had to be, I haven't had to like confront anyone about it.
I know, Jackie, you mentioned a few months ago that you had a Facebook post, or you were responding to one, or either you created one, like enough is enough, and where you had to
Yeah.
kind of speak out.
It was shortly after that pandemic video started being shared, and I think the thing that, it's one thing to see like really just off the wall incorrect things being shared by but this was being shared by, people that I really cared about, and they had framed it in such a way that they made it sound very like, oh, she worked for the, this must be real. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I definitely became the person who was just like, here's some fact checks for you, and I'm not trying to, I'm saying this because I care, but it's not to embarrass you or to make you feel bad, but it's like, this is the reality. And so since then I've tried to keep it few and far between, but the same thing when all of that, the, oh, who cares about COVID, what about child trafficking? Well, of course that's an issue. It's being used right now. It's been an issue for many years.
Right.
It's look over here type of thing. And so if
Yep.
you want to do something, I guess my comment was, if you want to do something about human trafficking, here are some links and some local, resources. However, saying don't care about this because,
Yep.
this is happening,
Yep.
it's being used. I'm actually just about to start an audio book that is all about basically an individual who their job in foreign countries is just to create these memes and to kind of basically troll the US. And so I'm
Wow.
really interested. I'll have to, in one of our future ones, give a book report on that, because I mean, if you don't think that there are bots out there, or if there are people whose sole purpose is to sow seeds of distrust and
Yep.
spread misinformation,
Yep.
it's called antisocial, and it's all about online extremists and hijacking of the American conversation, it's called. So really looking forward to
And it
that.
catches just like that. Yeah. Wow.
And then, I think we all know people who suspect conspiracies around every corner. And I have heard a lot of, well, not a lot, but several people say that the numbers of deaths that COVID have succumbed to COVID are inaccurate. And I mean, one is too many.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I'm like, what
Yep.
do you say to people who say that?
And what do you say to people who lost a family member to COVID? Like, that
Yeah.
number is as real as the sky is blue, to that person.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was confronted with that, I said, okay, so let's say there's margin for error, and instead of 150, we'll say even a third of those are wrong. Is 100,000, does that make you balk?
Right.
I go, what about
Yeah.
50,000?
Right.
At what threshold does it become troublesome to you?
Exactly.
Even if there's room for error each way.
Yeah.
And as we already know, there's error, but we're looking at, compared to this time last year and for the last 5 years, we're not 100. We're 200,000 deaths over what our average is. We're, if anything, ahead of the curve. And that's not looking at that's all cause mortality. We are 200,000 out of sync than what we normally are.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, we're probably being underreported. But okay, again, say we're 50% off. It's horrible.
It's
that's
still horrible.
still too many.
And literally, it's I guess for me, the challenge is if Erika contracts it versus Karen versus Josh versus Jackie, our outcomes can be so different. And that's just the scariest thing on earth. So it's just.
And the roll of the dice is you don't know what your outcome will be.
Yep.
There are things that say because you have a comorbidity. There are things because you say you have a certain blood type. There are things that, it could be a wide variety, but you don't know how you'll fare.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the frightening part about it. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm like my girlfriend like works in the public, and I'm always like convinced. I'm like, I may have had it, and I was just asymptomatic about it, which then in turn like kind of like terrifies me, because then it's like if I go visit my mom or something, and it's
Right.
like out of necessity usually to see her because she needs help with something at the house or something, then I don't want to, or vice versa too.
Yeah. Yep. Have any of you been tested for COVID at any point?
I'm going to give blood, though. Anne suggested giving blood would be an excellent way to get an accurate read that the antibody tests are not accurate, as you well know. And some of the tests, as we see, are not even accurate because the governor would test positive when Trump was visiting, and then subsequently take 2 tests from Ohio State Medical Center and be negative. So Anne said the best way to determine is, so there'll be a blood drive, I believe I wrote it, it's September 9th or September 10th at Metro. So I'm going to give blood, and if I have antibodies, they're going to let me know. So I feel good about knowing that.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting. Definitely interesting. And I know for our last question, Karen, you suggested talking about the saliva tests that are happening for COVID now.
So the FDA purportedly will not approve a test for distribution unless it is 90% accurate. So the crux is that the saliva test is supposed to be quick, fast, and accurate. I don't know if they're like readily available right now or if it's something that's up and coming. I don't know if if you could actually go somewhere and purchase them today, but I found that to be interesting because that whole thing going up your nose and some of the inaccuracy, just
Tickle
that.
in your brain.
Oh yeah, that looked like it went. I'm like, I'm gonna take it early on, and he didn't flinch, and I was like, you gotta be joking.
Yeah, I already told myself that if I am exposed, let me just isolate for the next 30 days before I just don't want it. I don't want it. I know me. So yeah, that's very interesting. We'll see how that unfolds with testing and the test becoming more accurate. I had a friend who tested positive and was told not to retest for a negative test because they needed to save the test for more essential folks. And I'm like, so when did she know really when to, kind of leave home and stop her isolation? We don't know what the shedding, could mean for someone else who might be more vulnerable. Too many unknowns, guys. Too many unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess with that said, you'll find the CRHD staff on their porches and in their homes becoming more and more stir crazy. But that's also a benefit to you all because we get to bring another episode soon. Any parting words? No parting words? No?
Support local businesses.
It's a good one, Josh. I'll say eat some delicious food.
Fresh air. Oh,
Get
sorry.
some fresh air. Yes, that's so like me and yours kind of counteract. Like eat delicious food. Sometimes you just want to like splurge and have something that just makes you feel good and take a walk afterwards. Get some fresh air. And Karen will probably say, work in your garden, start a garden.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love my little flower.
Yeah, it's pretty. Thank you all so much. And we'll see all of you on our next episode. Bye.